First, so an actual quick overview of Dada. So around the time of World War I and in the aftermath of it, in Zurich, a whole bunch of artists met together and at the Cabaret Voltaire, which was this little club in Zurich, and they became increasingly upset with the direction that they perceived art to be taking at the time. So they saw art as being, first of all, as influences from the war. They saw that they believed the war to be caused by either causes that were entirely stupid or entirely by upper-class societal reasons and imperialism. So, and then they saw that they started to see all the art of the time as a reflection of this, and so they believed that art had been corrupted, and that it was no longer truly an expression of anything pure, but that it was just crap that was made to appease patrons. So, so you have these are actually two separate notions of Dada at the time. This first one was representative of the one founder named Hugo Ball, who I don't talk about really elsewhere because this was a MicroTalk. And Hugo Ball said that the art they should strive to make should be an attempt to change the norm of what was up to then considered art, to reject the common notions of art. So where common art was concerned with aesthetics, Dada shouldn't. Where common art was made to please, Dada art should be made to affect. And then you have the anti-art, which was also concerned with traditional aesthetics, but it was this was really proposed by the one other main founder, Tzara, who said that art should be that we need to deconstruct everything that society has created because there was no hope to save art. Pretty much was Tzara's stance. And here we have this wonderful quote by Carl Jung, who was a famous philosopher, or not philosopher, psychologist. And his classification of Dada is, it's too idiotic to be schizophrenic. Because I believe the next slide has a picture of one of the Dada collages. Yes. So this is one of the famous Dada collages called Cut with the Dada Kitchen Knife through the last Weimar beer belly cultural epoch in Germany. It's quite a wonderful masterpiece here, as we can see. But as you can see, it's focused, as Dada was, on the idea that instead of trying to do stuff that's aesthetically pleasing, everything should be left up to chance, and that they should reflect works of chaos instead of any sort of thing that held any sort of logical coherence. Tzara. This is a portrait of Tzara. It's very well done, as you can see. So Tzara was one of the main founders of Dadaism. He was originally from Romania, and he left right after World War I broke out because of many cultural issues in it. After he left, his original name was Sam something, but he changed his name to Tristan Tzara, which in Romanian means sad in the country, which was supposed to reflect his grief in what Romania had become during the war. And he was very much into the idea of writing things. This man was one of the greatest trolls of all time. If you go to the next slide, he wrote this play called The Gas Heart. The play The Gas Heart is in 3 acts, despite the fact that it is shorter than most one-act plays in existence. And he has, in the opening line notes, it is the only and greatest 3-act hoax of the century. It has these characters, all of which are supposed to represent parts of the body, who sputter nonsense through this entire thing. There's an interchange of about 15 sentences where they just say, the conversation is lagging, isn't it? The Heart himself, who the play is supposed to be named after, has no directions through the entire thing other than to walk around in a circle around the stage during the entire play and do nothing. It is every single other actor that actually does something in this play besides the Heart. And I think it's the end of Act 2. All of a sudden there's just a stage direction that says, Dance of the Gentleman followed from a funnel into the ceiling onto the table. There is no reference to this gentleman before this part. and it just suddenly appears within the play. I believe he also wrote in the same line note that contains this, that the actor should treat it as if it is a work of Shakespeare of the highest regard, but at the same time show slight disdain for the author, who they believe to be a complete idiot. Next slide. So he writes in 1918. This is actually the second Dada Manifesto. I just put it up here because I was on a Tzara roll. He wrote the second Dada Manifesto, which was actually probably about 4 to 5 pages, and a hell of a lot longer than the first one. And this is just a quote taken from it. He was extremely into the idea of trying to destroy all ideas and cultural trends that have been enmeshed into everyone by proposing out contradictions everywhere. So he has the, I'm against action for continuous contradiction. For affirmation 2, I am neither for nor against, and I do not explain because I hate common sense. As I said, this man was basically the birth of trolling. Thanks. Alright, here's another click to add title slide with another example. This is Max Ernst, who is another painter, did this painting called Oedipus Rex, which, so Dada eventually evolved into Surrealism, because this movement only lasted for about 5 to 10 years before it completely fell apart, and a lot of them went on to form the Surrealist movement. So you can kind of see, even though this was done in the 1920s, the really early 1920s, before Dada really fell apart, you can already see that it started to take a bit more form than the previous collage and focus on Surrealism instead of just random crap. Next slide should be, yeah, the 1916 Dada Manifesto, which was written by Hugo Ball, which was the other guy I mentioned earlier. So, as I said, Ball didn't want to destroy destroy all the common conceptions. He wanted to just build a new one. So, in his ranting manifesto, which some of it was not fit to republish on this slide, he pretty much closes with, "Why can't a tree be called Puplush and Puplush Bach when it's been raining? The word, outside your domain, your stuffiness." He basically, he makes mention throughout the entire thing, since this is right around the it's 1960s, 1920s, a lot of them were very much anti-bourgeois and claims that all society was being paid for and made by evil capitalist scum, pretty much. Answers, none to be found. Congratulations.